a blend composed of both air-dried and flue-cured Virginia tobaccos. HH Pure Virginia is 100% Virginia tobaccos from North America and Africa. Both continents have a high reputation for growing the finest Virginia tobaccos in the world. Like all tobaccos in the HH family, this blend has no top flavor and only the absolute necessary casing in order to emphasize the natural tobacco taste. You will experience the natural sweetness and grassy taste from the Virginia tobacco. It's a straight Virginia in flake form. Smoking some Baren HH Pure Virginia. That's a bad start. How are you all doing? It's Friday, 9:24 p.m. It was hot today at work. I was watching when I was putting together my last upload. I think I did it on a Friday at 9, and I was editing everything together. I was thinking to myself, why do you look so unhappy? And on the way out here today, I was thinking about that. So I remember looking at that thinking, it's Friday night, you seem so unhappy. And I realized today, it's like, I'm not unhappy. I'm tired. It progressively gets worse throughout the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. By the time Friday comes around, the heat, it's just this time of year. The heat has just taken so much out of me. I almost felt sick earlier. Like I was hit by a truck or something. I don't know, I guess I'm just getting older. I don't know what the deal is. Anyways, I hope y'all are doing great. It's Friday. I'm smoking some, as I said, some Baren HH Pure Virginia. This has about 1.5 years of age on it. The mason jar says November of 22. I gotta be honest, I've had this more than once. I might need to run this back and smoke it again later. I'm enjoying it, but if you remember my Baren HH Latakia flake, I love that flake, and my concern was I had read somewhere on tobacco reviews or somewhere that someone had taken one of the HH blends, and they purchased like 3 or 4 pounds of it, and they cellared it deep, and they returned back to it 1 year or 2 later, something like that, and they said it was just bland as could be, ultra bland. No flavor. It was like smoking air. And this has a great room note because I can smell it. Obviously. But like, I'm getting all the profiles. It's balanced. It's smooth. It has all those lovely profiles and nuances, but it is rather mellow. Now, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. It just depends. I think I'd have to spend some... I've never smoked... I usually smoke things 3-4 days in a row often before I review. With this blend, for whatever reason, I've just smoked it on and off. I mean, I definitely like it. I think coffee would complement this and pair well with it in a spectacular way. I know all tobaccos, non-aromatics, are, well, just... I know all pipe tobaccos go great with coffee for the most part. But I'm mentioning that because I think it would really pair better than other tobaccos, is why I'm mentioning it. I'm unsure of it. I'm just being honest. It's there's bits and pieces of it that I like. It's very mellow. Almost it's too mellow for me. It's really too bland. And I know it's changed. God, I smoked this, I don't know, 3 months ago. I feel like it's changed since then. And maybe it's because, I spent 10 days smoking 8-State Burley, which I really kind of fell in love with. Before that, I was smoking Haunted Bookshop, which I love. That was kind of like my daily smoke. Straight into 8-State Burley for 10 days. And then I let go of the 8-State Burley for a little while. If you over-smoke a blend, when I over-smoke a blend, it gets boring, as with anything, in moderation. And then I started smoking some of my 4.5-year-old Mac Baren Navy Flake. I smoked that all week. That was lovely, to say the least. And I'm almost down to, I don't know, I've got another 7 bowls of it left, 6 bowls, and it's gone. I mean, I've got stockpiles of it. I've got over a pound or whatever, but it's not aged. So that's kind of sad. I'll probably just leave that in that tiny mason jar and pick at it. Like I have a bunch of mason jars full of like 4- and 5-year-old blends of Escudo and Orlick Golden Sliced and some other stuff that I just pick at occasionally, because in the future, I'm going to be sure to have a bunch of stuff that I like that's aged that I have in bulk. And I'll only have to do this one time. the Escudo, the Orlet Golden Slice, just a lot of my favorites. The Baren Navy Flake, London Flake. Haunted Bookshop just works regardless. I don't think you need age on. I don't think Haunted Bookshop needs age. I've had it aged. I don't think it changes much. I honestly think the Retro Hail was stronger with age than without. It was at least different, that's for sure. To be fair, I don't know what I smoked in this last. But this is my first bowl out of a pipe that was just cleaned, and I think, what was my last review on? I'm so dead to the world right now. 8 State Burley is what I smoked in here. Duh. I typically have at least 2-3 bowls of the same thing out of the same pipe prior to doing a review. So this is a little different, but I'm going to call a spade here. This is a little bland. I'd much prefer their Virginia Flake over this. It's bland. It's bland. I love Baren products, but it's kinda, it may be one of them hit and miss blends, and right now it's just kind of a miss, but it definitely leaves something to be desired. I wouldn't smoke it this fast, except for the fact that when my AC's going, the cool air will go down my pipe stem, and cool down the pipe and cool down the smoke. It's one thing I do like about smoking in my vehicle. It's the only thing I like about smoking in my vehicle. I'm exceptionally tired doing reviews and smoking in my vehicle. But at least the AC is working right now, so that's a plus. I do find it rather interesting that I'm pretty taken with the room note while smoking it. That's usually not a thing. The room note's usually something I notice when I step out of my vehicle for a while and I come back, so I'm going to want to say that this has a really lovely room note. It's not bad or nothing like that. Like, I'd be tickled pink to wake up and have a cup of coffee with this. I just don't think it's, I don't know that it's going to age well. And that's a problem for me. It's too much to keep track of for me. If a tobacco doesn't age well, if it goes bad or gets bland, you're pretty much, unless it just blows my socks off for the first year, I can do that in the short haul, but I don't want to have to keep a list of tobaccos I like, knowing that there's there's a shelf life on it. Me personally, there's too many good tobaccos out there to have to worry about that nonsense. I mean, everything about it's really smooth. It does has some. It has some very background, mild, peppery something in the retrohale that I'm not entirely sure I actually like. Something with an aftertaste that I at times like, and then other times the subtle nuances of it are kind of. I mean, it is a Virginia. I'm probably hitting it a little too fast. That's probably what's going on. But again, there's too many Virginias I've had that I don't have to be this delicate with. What else to say? I don't know. I'm not going to call it bad, but it does leave something to be desired. It is a little too mellow for me. You know, it's okay to be mellow as long as there's like a flavor. This is a little too bland for me. Like this is, I mean, like Peter Stokkebye's Luxury Twist Flake is richer than this. Like I don't even know what I would compare it to. It's very bland. I like very mild, you know, very subtle, very airy and wispy, and not a whole lot to it. And I think this is one of the rare occasions where it actually started stronger than its ending. Typically, though, and often when I get down to the heel, some really neat things can happen. I don't always smoke all the way down to the very, very end of the heel, but as you approach the heels, you know, how those amazing things can concentrate and start to pop. Kind of like resin at the end of your bong. I don't know why I said that. I haven't smoked marijuana in forever. Yeah, I can run this back again, but I'm just gonna call it. I think it's bland. And the fact that it's got the Mac Baren name, I'm not gonna allow that to sway me in any way, shape, or form. This is bland. It's too bland for me. It does, you know, I get all those organic elements of natural and pure. All that's there, you know. It's not a bad tobacco. I think it's a little boring. I do. I think it's a bit boring. You know, I'll run it back, see what it do. The flakes are beautiful. When I broke it up, it needed a little bit of drying time, and it's been in my mason jar for 1.5 years. Finally, I got into some cool elements there at the heel, but that's to be expected. Now, if the whole smoke was like that hit, puff, whatever you want to call it, I'd be singing a different tune, but it wasn't. I just got home and stared at YouTube, listening to Chad went live on Yardism. And I found myself listening in, and then all of a sudden I was staring, just lost in a daydream, just dead. I wasn't thinking about anything. And I'm working, but God, I've worked way harder than this before. Just that heat. I get to work at 7 a.m. and I went up 4 flights of stairs with my tools and my tool belt and all that, my ice chest. And it was so humid today. I can't believe I'm still talking. This is a long video. Maybe I'll edit some of this out. It was so humid today, and I showered the night before, and I put on deodorant, and I brushed my teeth. I'm a clean person. And by 8 o'clock, I was already drenched in sweat. It was so humid. You could cut the moisture with a knife. And I could already smell some kind of rancid something that was like, I have that wicking technology shirt that's supposed to dry real quick, which it never dried. But there was already some sour kind of funk coming off me. And I'm like, good God, it's like I barely got here. I finally just took my shirt off like 3 hours later before I went to lunch, and I started working without a shirt. I ain't having it. I don't know. I'm glad I didn't buy a pound of this. So I'll run it back. And I hate to, it's the HH line. You don't know what you're talking about, Rinky Dink. That stuff is amazing. Now some of the, I've had the Virginia Flake. I've had the HH Pure Virginia. I think there's a Virginia number 1 and a Virginia number 2. I'm not sure. I have to look. I haven't had those. It's just too subtle. That's my complaint. It's not the flavor. It's nothing like that. It's too damn subtle. And I don't know what this would do in 5 years, but I have a feeling it's not going to pop. I don't think age is going to make this pop. I could be wrong. Don't write me hate mail. Now, if I was at someone's house and I had my pipe roll and I had no pipe tobacco and they were like, hey, dude, would you like a bowl of pure Virginia? I'd be like, hell yeah. I mean, it's very smokable. It's quality. It's just turned down too much. That may just be a byproduct of what a pure Virginia does, okay? Need to throw a little perique in that son of a bitch. They need to throw a little perique in here. There's your problem. Anyways, this is a long video. The after effect of smoking it is nice. I like the smoke on me. I like the taste in my mouth. okay? If I were a gay man sitting next to me, I'd probably want to give me a giant sloppy kiss right now. Okay? I'm going to edit that part out. Anyways, I'm probably going to smoke another bowl, to be honest with you. So you all have a fabulous weekend, rather. It's so hot. I'll be indoors all weekend. Oh, by the way, before I came out here, I counted. I have an active smoke drawer. I'm sorry for this long video, guys. I have an active smoke drawer where I have all my tobaccos that I've either popped a tin on and I loved, and or it's just whatever. I either popped the tin on it to try it, and whether I like it, love it, or I want to get rid of it, it's open because I popped the tin, or it's in my active smoke rotation because I like it, like my Baren Navy Flake or whatever the case may be. And I counted them, and I've got 42 active. Opened mason jars that have anywhere between, 6 and 2 ounces, 6 and 1 ounce of tobacco. And I just don't see myself popping any more tins. I still have more to review out of those active 42 blends. I just don't see myself popping any more tins until I start clearing some of that out, because I don't have any more room until I get into my own place. Like, I literally have an entire dresser drawer full of this stuff. Later on, I imagine I'll have like an armoire or something I can keep my bulk in, and I don't know, I'm going to get creative with that, but I'm going to try to keep it all in one place, and have my bulk in one place, and then have my active in another place, and whatever the case may be. But I realized the other day that Steve down at Smoking Cardboard obviously sent me like 80 some odd blends, samples. So what I'm going to do is, while I'm trying to clear out some of these blends, and I'll probably clear through the ones I don't like as much. I think that's what Chillax was recommending, and I kind of already do that anyways, and so we think alike like that. But as I'm clearing through to make more room out of this active smoke drawer, I think I'll start smoking some of the samples that Steve sent me to review. And then that way, because they're small enough, I can kind of just smoke those throughout the week, and before I finish the last bowl, I can do a review on it, and that'll disappear, and I'll have it on the record, and I'll know if I want to buy more in the future. And that'll keep my active smoke drawer from growing while I continue to reduce the number of blends in that active smoke drawer. So there's my methodological plan. Yes, sir. Anyways, long video. You guys have an excellent weekend. I'm not sure when I'm going to upload this. God bless.